Bloody hell. That was a mission. Oh, God. This live streaming malarkey. Now I've got to work out why. This shit ain't gonna work. Alright, I thought I was gonna be able to stream to multiple doovie lackeys, and I don't think I can. Well, that's balls. Big ones. Do, do, do. Let us see. I think. Oh God, I think YouTube's the only one that's going to work, which is really a bit shooky. How do I get this to work? Well, I think yeah, that's all I'm going to be able to do, I think, which is a bit of a pain. So, ye old YouTube, it is. Balls. Alright, well, YouTube it is, so we'll stick with that, and I have to work out why it's not working. I know why TikTok's not working. I have to reapply for my live stream, because I've not done one in a while. So that sucks. And Instagram, I didn't realize the formatting was going to be so balls, so that's what we're doing. So that's crap. But anyway, the reason for doing this, right, is because I spend a lot of my weekends now bored to tears, scrolling through, watching all my YouTube channels, and I clear them, and I sit there thinking, it'd be nice to have a beer and be able to chat with someone. So I figured we could start a channel where people can jump on and chat, and we can get people coming on and talking just about bikes in general. Yes, I do Harleys mostly, but my dream bike's an Aprilia Tuono, so I'm not just Harleys. Happy to talk about any of them. But we thought it'd be cool just to have a beer, hang out, and talk shite about two wheels, right? So initially, Talk Monsters was started up as a e-com thing, do aftermarket parts, bring them in from the States, but it's slowed down, so sort of trying to change it up. Got some projects on the way, DIY stuff. I'm really big into doing all the work on your bike yourself. So I'm going to start putting out some things. I'm not handy. I'm not like a mechanic or anything. I'm YouTubing and learning it all myself. So, give it a go. In for a penny, in for a pound. Bloody expensive way to learn from mistakes, though. But one of the main things that kicked this one off for me is, reason wanting to do this really, is the announcement of Harley Davidson getting involved with the MotoGP. Now, I know I've called it King of the Baggers, but it's not actually King of the Baggers. It is only Harleys. There's not going to be any Indians fighting with them on this, which is pretty crazy. And, there's sort of like a lot of backwards and forwards, people wondering why the hell Harley would do this. Thinking, oh, I wonder who's going to win, But I think it's freaking awesome. I'm pumped to be to be able to go watch these things. So we're going to try and get to Silverstone, which would be really, really good. Um, so that's what, start of August. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. But like this crossover, bringing performance baggers is just huge to the global sort of market. The King of the Baggers thing is awesome, and I really like it. But only people sort of in the know are watching it. This is going to bring this sort of spectacle to a whole new level, and I guess this is the plus side of Liberty Media taking over, right? They're sort of they're going to shake things up. Harley's the sort of that darling brand of America, and so it makes sense, right? And yeah, it's Harley now, but I think if it's successful, if it works well for Harley, then I wouldn't be surprised if Indian jump on board with it as well. And it'd be so cool to get like Triumph in there. Yeah, maybe some of the others could drop their cruisers in there as well. I'm not sure how the Beamers would go. Those big boxer engines stick it. Yeah, I can't see them. Can't see them racing. But you never know. You never know. Yeah, mate. I'm all for anyone getting on there and having a go. I think it's rad. But yeah, so I'm buzzing about Silverstone. I really just to be able to be there and listen to them. I remember going to like the British Superbikes and that for the first time, and just the noise of it. It's like it's intoxicating. Like it is. So yeah, so that would be really cool. The thing that struck me the most with all this, with the announcement and Harley with Dorna, the MotoGP, was the amount of hate from online, right? It was just so much bigger and louder than I really thought it would be. I kind of just, I mean, I think I've got quite a, I guess maybe a naive outlook on the motorbike community. I always think, man, everyone's on two wheels, all bikers get on, they all always help each other out. But really, they're just as bad as any other community. Sports bikes hate the cruisers. I mean, even within the sports bikes, they all hate Gixxer riders. You got your Italians versus your Japanese. You got your adventure bike and tourers now. They're so split. And then you got your motocross and supercross boys and girls. So it's a lot more segregated than I thought. To the point where, you know, like when someone asks me what do I ride, I shouldn't feel like if I tell them I ride a Harley, I shouldn't feel like I'm going to get a sneer from them for it. But generally I do. Generally it's like oh, you know, and it's like, yeah. So that it did, I guess it surprised me, but it really shouldn't have, the amount of hate. And a lot of it, right, comes from, I guess, these purists, you know, claiming that it's going to ruin MotoGP. No one wants to see it. And I'm like, I mean, who doesn't want to see something that's not made to be raced just absolutely beasted and made to max sort of performance specs, racing around a track, right? And yes, these things aren't going to be as fast as MotoGP bikes, right? They're, I think, at similar tracks in the US, like the King of the Baggers, the Baggers are running a couple of seconds behind the Superbike category, which isn't bad. So it's probably like, I don't know, would that be like Moto 2 maybe. Nah, probably a bit slower than Moto 2. But these are big, heavy bikes, right? Like what, 300 kilos? Um, they're heavy. They're still cracking 185 miles an hour down a straight. Like it's going quick for a bike that's made to be toured and to be comfortable, right? Cruising down the highway, like it's just it's mental. Um, and the fact that you've got like in the King of the Baggers, you've got King of the Bangers. In the King of the Baggers, like the Harley factory team, the major partner and sponsor is Dynajet, and you don't get a lot bigger than Dynajet, right? Like if they're jumping on board and they're all into the project, it can't be that bad. It really can't be, and I just I don't understand the hate, right? It's crazy to me. I mean, everything with wheels and without, I guess, gets raced these days. Like, I I was watching. What was I watching? Scooters, electric scooters. Hold. Electric scooters. Uh, these things were outrageous. Electric scooters and what was the other one? Oh, and the like Vespers. Yeah. Check. Check this out. Oh, oh no. Oh, it would help if I actually had some sort of capture going on there, right? Da, 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 da. We can do it like this. My bad. Well done, Chris. Really, really well organized. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this shit. They're racing electric scooters. Right, like no one's hating on this. Well, they probably are, but we just haven't heard about it. But look, these guys got leathers on. Look at them go. And yet we're gonna give Baggers a hard time for. Oh, son, take it easy. What? Right? Like, okay, mental. And look at these guys. This is look at these guys. This is the British. This is at Cadwell Park in the UK. Look at these guys. Come on, let's go. Yeah, boys. Like Vespers and Lambrettas. Like, look at them all leathered up, cruiser. This would be fun if they put this at the MotoGP. I'd be happy to watch it. I don't get why the Harley thing gets such a raw deal, right? Why everyone hates it so much. Is mental, and I get like a lot of it's like tongue-in-cheek comments, you know, like may as well let tractors race, or there's going to be oil all over the track and all that sort of thing, and which I get, like it is kind of funny. There's a history there, but Harley gets such a bum rap when it comes to reliability. They're good bikes, especially the newer ones. Actually, even mine's an '09 and never had a problem with it, right? You look after it, you service it just like you do any other bike. They're relatively simple compared to a lot of other bikes, so easy to do the maintenance yourself. But most people who give Harley shit have never owned one. They've never ridden one. They're just repeating what Daddy told them, right? Or Granddad told them. And most of it comes from like a 10-year span, right? 11, 12-year span when AMF bought them and went for quantity over quality, right? They started just mass producing these bikes and the quality plummeted. And that's where Harley's that's where all the that's where it all comes from, all their bad rap, right? Everyone's like, they'll leak everywhere, they'll blow up, they'll whatever. It comes from that span of years. What have I got? 1969 to 1981. Any bike built within that time frame is a good chance it's going to be a heap of doo doo, right? So if you've got a newer bike, they're good, they're decent, right? And now, like, the performance side of it is such a big part, right? So straight away, like, you buy a Harley, straight away you're going for what they call a stage one. But you're putting on an aftermarket air filter on it for better airflow. You're going to put on an aftermarket exhaust, preferably a 2-to-1 if you're going for more performance. Get a tuner put in it. Again, it could be a Dynajet, it could be a Thunder Max, it could be the Vance and Hines fuel pack, or you can go just get it tuned. And straight away, you're pumping out bigger numbers. You can then do all sorts of things to them. Add bigger throttle bodies, injectors. You can put Olin suspension, Brembo brakes all on them. Nice Galford discs. You can. There's tons of stuff, tons, just like you could with most other bikes, right? But Harley is just so customizable. It's and you can do it yourself. It's great. You can chop and change parts from different bikes as well if you're really handy. And it just makes them a really cool sort of canvas, right? To try and make a bike a bit more your own, rather than just running the same color scheme as everyone else. Granted, most people are running black on a Harley, but some people vary it up, which is cool. But yeah, Harleys get so much flack, and I think like superbike riders forget that Italian bikes generally are an absolute nightmare and a headache. You wouldn't want to be doing any DIY stuff on them yourself. Aprilia electronics historically are pretty bad. Ducatis overheat and have gearbox issues. KTM's coolant leaks and they overheat. Jap bikes, the Yamahas and Hondas, all have models that have notorious problems with them, right? All of them do, and people seem to forget that, and they just go at the Harley. It's an easy target, I guess, right? But I feel like it's gets my heckles up a bit, right? It just I like I said, I love the superbikes as well. I'm a big MotoGP fan. So bringing the Harleys into the MotoGP, I think is pretty sweet. But I would genuinely love to hear from people and understand why they'd be so against it, right? If I'm going to the MotoGP and I'm still getting the practice sessions, I'm still getting the sprint race, I'm still getting the main race. Now, I don't know what's happening with Moto 2 and Moto 3. Liberty Media might be changing that up. But for the time being, if I'm still getting those races, and then they're going to throw in some extra stuff as well, give me, like, the king of the baggers. Mate, if they could throw in the super hooligan class, now that I think I'd be even more keen to see, because that sucker is pretty cool. You've got Harleys. They run the Pan Americas, which is an adventure bike, right? Touring adventure. But it's been stripped down to be a hooligan. The Indian FTR, which is an absolute weapon of a bike. Then you've got KTM, I think it's like 890 Dukes running in there. They've got Yamaha FZ09s. I think there's BMW in there as well. R9T maybe. The R9T. I don't know. What's the other one? Is it F900 maybe? Anyway, there's quite a few in that class, right? Ducati Monsters as well. There's quite a few in that class, and Indian have been cleaning up. The last 2 years, though, Harleys have won it on the Pan America. They've beasted it. Corey West last year, and this year James Rispoli, which is sick on a Pan America, right? Pan Americas are beating Indian FTRs and KTM Dukes, right? It's pretty sick around a racetrack. So that would be fun. I love that idea. Let's get that into MotoGP. Or even just bring it over here to the UK and get it on some BSB circuits, right? That would be... I think it'd be fun, man. On the British... for the British superbikes, we have the sidecars that run on some of them. There's a few other cups that run as well. Like, I don't know, mix it up. Let's throw some other stuff in there. Could be cool. Yeah, I really like it. I think a big part of this is that sort of recently, in the last few years, the sort of cruiser scene, I'm going to focus mostly on Harley because that's what I know more, but it's shifted, right? That mentality of being an old man sort of bike, big long grey beard, tattoos, and that brother, right? It's shifting away from that. There are different scenes now, right? You've got the stunting scene. There's a whole bunch of lads doing all that kind of stuff, right? You see the East Coasting crew and the Thrashing, yeah. Lance is wicked on it, but Cruisy Originals, like those lads, tons more as well. The unknown, yeah, wicked, man. These guys, they drift, wheelie, like it's cool. And then pushing that further is the performance side, which is where these baggers come in, right? And all this R&D that's going into the King of the Baggers is filtering down, and we've seen that, I think, now with the start of, like, with the 2025 bikes that came in, the Road Glide and the Street Glide in particular. These are now liquid cooled engines away from the Harley air cooled like normal. These things are a beast. They're like 150 brake horsepower and 150 torque right out of the box, right? Which is nuts. So we've got all sorts of things you can do with that now. There's superchargers and turbos and all that kind of stuff. And I think that will get pushed more and more, right? People putting performance suspensions, whether it's Olins or Legends or Progressives or, like the RWDs. There's so many different suspension brands that are out there performance-wise that people are throwing on their bikes. Brakes as well. Brembos, hell. It's just, there's so much going on. And the Harley game, or the cruiser game in general, is really, really changing. And I think the whole thing is to try and bring like a younger breed into the bikes. Look, this is not just an old man's cruiser bike. It still can be, and I'm sure it will continue to be for a long time. But you buy it, you get this platform, and then you can kit it out how you want it to be, which I really like. That's why I really got stuck into it. Time to wet the whistle. Oh. Um, but yeah, I mean, I I always hear my dad in my ear saying like you can't corner on a Harley, but you got good enough tires and good brakes on these things. Yeah, they're heavy, but they still go. You can still hang it around a corner, right? They're very very rideable, and they're a lot more fun than people think. Um, so I'm all for this. But again, I don't know if I'm in a real minority here, and maybe it's just that the articles that I saw were dominated by these purists that don't want anything other than their MotoGP bikes. I don't know that I'm talking bollocks, but um, yeah. But yeah, so I think pushing this sort of scenario of having these performance baggers race around the track, I think it for us like normies that ride them, it gives you that encouragement, and I guess it's bringing that younger generation in as well, um, showing you that these big bikes can do really cool things, and you can do really cool things to them. Um, so I think it's I I don't see any negatives to Harley doing this, other than it's going to cost them a buttload. Uh, but yeah, I'm sure it's costing them a lot. But when you've got, uh, I would assume Liberty Media's backing on this as well. There's bound to have been some sort of sweet deal done, right? Um, I know they've got 3 teams signed up so far. Um, one of the teams is the Saddlemen team, the guys that make the seats and stuff. Um, so that's cool. Another one is I can't remember the name, but it's an Australian team. And then there's another one. Starts with a C. They're Italian, I think. Um, so hopefully a few more teams join on, and we have a few. Because I do find the one thing with King of the Baggers, because it is only Harley versus India. There's not, I think at any time, there's only ever about 12 bikes on the track, and I mean I've watched races where there's only been 6. Like, um, yeah, that's the only downside I think. But again, it's a thing that build over time. If it works, if it's popular, then maybe more teams will sign up, and I guess that's the plan, right? Um, hmm. Oh, that was a big mouthful. I needed that. Yeah, I mean, I would genuinely like to hear um, people's thoughts and opinions on, I don't know, whether it's a good idea, whether they want to see it, whether they think it's going to damage reputation. Um, I don't think there's any reputation to damage for this. It doesn't. If it doesn't go well, I don't think it's any loss for Harley. I don't think it's any loss for Dorna and Liberty Media. I think uh, it is only a win-win scenario, right? If it doesn't work, then it just doesn't come back, and whoop-de-doo. They've tried it. Okay, maybe they lose a little bit of money, but no one's going to care. Everyone that hated it to start with will still hate it afterwards. Um, yeah. Hmm. Much to ponder on. There is. I saw a sign up actually for the like Harley tickets to go in. So I've signed up. I want to go in and hopefully get like a not so much an inside scoop, but get to see the bikes up close. Would be pretty sick. Maybe to be nice just to hear one and give it a little. Yeah. But other than that, with the, I'd love to hear people's opinions actually, because I really like going to the British Superbikes. I haven't been to a MotoGP. Next year's one, if I get to it, will be my first. I'd love to find out if anyone else has been to MotoGP, if they think it's worth it. I always found the British Superbikes really good. Oh god, oh no, I was gonna put my leg up. I can't. Oh, my belly's too full. I ate too much for dinner. I really enjoy sort of the atmosphere, just having beers, eating, sitting on the grass and watching bikes all day. I find the British Superbikes is like, it's quite a chilled day. It's not overly crowded. You can go around everywhere, but it's not dead either. I really like it, and it's not expensive to go to. I've done a few where I've camped out at them and had like a wicked night in the evening, and then watched bikes hung over on the grass while drinking beers and eating food. But I do wonder if like MotoGP is quite a different vibe to that. Like obviously it's going to step up because I'd say the attendance is much higher. But I've heard sort of average things about Silverstone in terms of just like the cost, and if it's rammed as well, whether that sort of takes away much of the fun. I don't know what the viewing's like. Like, where do you sit? Are there? Obviously, there's the grandstands. I wouldn't go in there. I'd be on a grassy hill somewhere, because I'm tight ass. But I also like my freedom to be able to come and go as I please, right? So. Yeah, if anyone's been to one, I think Portugal seems to be a popular one because it's nice and close for us to get to. But yeah, if you've been to one, I'd love to hear about it. Also, I'm going to try and just, I don't know, hopefully if we get Instagram and TikTok live stream going as well, we'll do all of them. Might help because that's where most of my followers are. But it'd be good to sort of get some other topics to chat about. I'd like to have a back and forth. Get my English going. Yeah, I'd like to be able to chat, find out, what you're riding, what your dream bike is, or what the best bike you've ever ridden is. I don't know. Cool things about them, shit things about them. I tell you, the thing I dislike the most about my Harley is the weight. I think it feels awesome when you twist the throttle. I think it sounds awesome. I like the look of it. It rides really nice. It's comfortable. But my God, that is a heavy son of a bitch. Yeah, that's definitely the thing I hate about it. And actually, I'm gonna do got some projects coming up soon, so I'm gonna start having a go at make some carbon fiber parts. We'll see. Easy Composites do some really good kits. And there's some good videos out there, so I'm going to see if we can make some parts. It'd be cool to do. Oh, sorry. Mustache hair. Poke my nostril. I'm thinking front fender, center console. Yeah, center console. Probably like the battery cover and like the fuse box cover on the other side. And maybe rear fender, but that'll come with a little bit of fabrication because I'll have to make a little bit of a bracket for underneath to sort of take the weight. And maybe I make a new front fairing from my Memphis shades. Maybe I make a carbon fiber version. That'd be pretty cool, actually. That'd be pretty cool. Might lighten up the bike a wee bit. And actually, see, this is the thing, Harley. You can always upgrade stuff. It's great. I got to replace the I've got the battery here. The old, what is it? The acid batteries. The acid, is that what? I don't know. Yeah, but this beast is it's like 6.5 kilos. 6.5 kilos. Like that's quite heavy, man. So I might try and get a lithium battery. Every kilo helps. I seem to be putting more weight on the bike than taking off at the moment, like putting crash bars and all that kind of stuff. So it'd be good to reduce some. But yeah, this is all cool, fun stuff you could do with a Harley, guys. You could always change things up. I've got what other? We're doing some powder coating at the moment as well. Taken off the primary cover at the moment. Actually, the whole primary's off because I've converted from front controls to mid controls. I found with the fronts, my feet going forward, I've got about a 14-inch rise, right? So my arms are about up here, which is fine. It's comfy. But after a while, my the back of my neck, it like about an hour into it, and I start getting a bit crippled, you know. So it was raised to my attention that it might be because I've got these forward controls, right? Because when I'm like this, all my weight is down my spine, sort of into my ass there. There's no support from my legs at all because I can't push any of that weight up. So if I go mids, that brings my feet sort of a bit more underneath me, and they can take a bit of the weight. So I'm hoping that helps. It means I can go on some longer rides, which would be really good. But while doing that, I had to take the whole primary off because the shaft had snapped that was originally through there. And that is why I think the original owner converted it in the first place. Oh, sorry. But, yeah. While I took it off, I thought, because it was pretty beat up, you know, a bit scratched and chipped, and I thought, while I'm here, and that happens to me a lot, while I'm here, I may as well do this. So I have had to go, I've stripped all the paint off it. I had to go at sandblasting, which was not a huge success. It worked, but it was slow. And mainly because my air compressor is too small. So it couldn't, when I'm spraying, it couldn't keep the pressure up. It would drop down, then I have to wait for it to charge back up, and then so that was a bit poos. But I got there in the end, a bit of a combination between that, some sanding, some paint stripper. Yeah, I had to try everything. But it worked. It looks good now. It's all clean. So the next part is powder coating, which I'll do in the new year because I've still got to buy the gun. But I've got the oven, which I'm going to make up as well. I've bought a barrel to do a makeshift oven to bake the powder coated parts in. So that's going to be exciting. You can all, I've been recording stuff. I haven't edited it because I'm super slack. I'm going to put it up, and it's going to be fun for you all to see me fail so you know what not to do. Yeah. Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, so this is kind of, I guess, the direction I'm going in now. Sort of clearing out the last few parts of the ecom, Got an SP Concepts exhaust to sell on. It's a stainless cutback for M8 baggers, 2017 upwards. So if you're interested in that, get in touch. Got a few bunk and crash bars, and I've got a Memphis Shades Road Warrior fairing for a Fat Bob as well. Yeah, I got a few bits. I need to clear out, which, I mean, there's no rush, but slowly get rid of those. I'm doing them a bit cheaper as well, so that should help clear them. But I'm going to keep Talk Monsters sort of going and trying to keep it alive sort of through content, try and get a bit more out there. Like I said, project builds, installs. I want to stay away from the same stuff everyone else is doing. So I think sort of maybe like the carbon fiber, making models and that sort of thing might be something different. And what else? Yeah, I don't know. I'm actually wanting to get myself a little 600 as well. Been looking at some Yamaha R6s recently. Maybe even one to fix up. I'd like to have a go at some track days. I'd like to learn a bit of track riding. I think that'd be fun. Yeah. If you're into those and know more about it, then hit me up, because I need all the encouragement I can get, because I chicken out, especially when I see the price. But yeah, I'd love to get into that sort of stuff as well. Yeah, lots of ideas on the horizon. But again, it'd be great if I can get, maybe, we can get someone else chatting on here as well, so it's not just me yammering on. So yeah, so look, I'll finish up there. I started a little bit later than I planned, but I'm surprised I've yabbered on now for till 9 o'clock. I didn't think I was going to make it that long. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Again, if you got any comments, opinions, conversations you want to have, I'm always up for it. Saturday nights we try and do this. Have a beer, be good. Just chat and hang out, man, because it does get. I mean, you finish YouTube, right? There's only so many sort of decent content creators out there worth watching. So if you finish watching them, then maybe we can just have beers and talk bikes. That'd be cool. Maybe you're stuck doing something. You got a problem with your bike, and there's someone else listening that knows how to fix, can give you a hand. That would be cool, right? Might be able to build some sort of like live community. So yeah, happy days. We'll leave it at that. A pleasure. Rah 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 and all that, and we'll see. Next weekend we'll go again and find something else to chat about. Toodles.